All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of Extra Features Movie Podcast. This is episode 272, Animation Nation. I almost said Animation Alien Nation in honor of Mandy Patinkin, where we're going to be discussing animated movies that some people have picked out for us. Anyway, I'm Kevin.
I'm Ryan Kugler.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Doug.
The intern.
So, guys, I finished off my animated movies with about 3 days to spare before we got to the show. So I went into my way box of toys and pulled out a couple DVDs. I found one I really enjoyed, and you can find out what that was at Extra Features on Twitter if you guys care what I have to do. But now I've gone down back in my early 80s rabbit hole and found a movie starring Heather Thomas called Cyclone.
Hey, question for you.
Yep.
What is our Twitter address?
It's Extra Features.
It's at Extra Features PC, right?
Correct.
There you go. Okay.
But I'm just saying, has anybody seen Cyclone with Heather Thomas? And how does Heather Thomas have another acting job other than this movie? I'm still trying to figure that out.
Who's Heather Thomas?
Wasn't she
Fall
on
Guy.
the Fall Guy? Yeah.
Fall Guy. That was her big thing. And I also watched a movie called Ring of Darkness. I would not recommend to anyone.
Okay. I actually went to a movie theater twice this weekend. So
Hold on. Is this the second time you've gone to a theater and not invited anybody on the show?
How could you?
Well, this time I didn't rent out the theater. I went with the general public, so it was a little more nerve-wracking.
With the white boy.
I would have come.
Yes.
Now, here's my question for you, Doug, before you tell us what you saw. If I showed up to the movie theater and you saw me, could I sit near you, or no, you would make me sit in my own row by myself?
Well, the movie theater would have a policy of at least one seat in between viewers, so you could sit one seat away from me. I would
You'd
allow
be okay with that?
Yeah, because you have to wear your mask in the theater, so.
But I bought popcorn.
You son of a bitch. That would be fine.
You sure?
Yeah, I'd be a little wigged out. I'm not going to lie. But
afterwards, will I be able to come over to your house and spend time with that barbecue? Is my next question.
Yes, outside.
No, I understand I can't be inside. I'm totally okay with that. I don't know how I'm going to go to the bathroom because it might be a little difficult for me to get home.
We'll have a bucket and a tent set up.
Oh, yeah, then I'm good to go.
It's a big barbecue.
How are you getting over the border, Simon?
Yeah, exactly.
I can walk over the border, Bob.
In the bucket.
Okay. Sorry, I should
army crawl under the border.
We're going over the falls.
So before we go any further, Doc, what did you get to see?
Me and my son Dylan went to go see Spiral from the Book of Saw. And then this afternoon I went to go see Jason Statham, Wrath of Man.
Now, does your kids, because you live in the same household, have to sit one seat from you?
No. Since I bought the tickets in advance, we could all sit next to each other.
I see how it works. So if I just randomly show up, you kick me to the curb. But if you bought my ticket, it's okay. But you'd probably buy 4 of them and make me sit 3 seats away from you.
Just to be safe.
You can ask him to adopt you.
That's my story.
So can
that's
you adopt me?
And he's sticking to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you say yes to adopting him, or just?
I was agreeing with Kevin.
Simon, the rule is you have to be at least 2 theaters away.
Well, right now I'm over 2 states away, so I'm probably okay.
It works out. They're loosening the rules up soon, so you might be able to go 1 state away.
Oh, good. I'm back in New York State. I thought Doug took me out of that.
You can go up to Albany and see him.
Well, Cuomo has some of his own issues, so I probably could sneak in now when he's not paying attention.
Buffalo is, close enough, I think.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out. Have you ever been to Buffalo?
Just drove through it once to go to Niagara Falls.
It's not really my kind of place. To our Buffalo listeners, I'm sorry. I'm sure there's a nice part of Buffalo.
The outlet
I
malls.
haven't seen it yet.
Because
outlet malls are
the Bills don't even play in Buffalo, do they?
They play in Orchard Park.
And that's not in Buffalo, right?
It's like a suburb, I guess. I don't
Okay.
know. Maybe one of our New
You know
York
what?
listeners could get
I
back
went to
to
a
us.
comic show in
Okay.
Buffalo
was
about
gonna-
4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and it was pretty good.
Did you
It was
go to the
very quiet.
fairgrounds?
No, I didn't go to the fairgrounds.
That's where I used to always have to go for shows, the fairgrounds.
No, this was downtown at the Buffalo Convention Center, which was tiny,
I've never been there.
but it was good. We had street parking. Didn't seem too busy at all. Seemed kind of nice actually.
Orchard Park
Now,
is
why-
a suburb of New York. It's not in Buffalo.
Oh,
Erie County,
Okay.
New York.
well, there you go. But at this time, did they have like a machine apocalypse while you were there, Daniel? Or did anything happen? Maybe it happened to Kevin at the convention. He had to escape the machines.
My cell phone acted up.
There you go.
Like we're the Mitchells versus the Machines, even, right?
It wasn't a pal to me.
Oh, directed by Michael Rianda. Oh, sorry, The Mitchells versus the Machines, directed by Michael Rianda, co-directed by Jeff Rowe, and they also wrote it, starring Abby Jacobson, Danny McBride, Maya Rudolph, Michael Rianda as the brother Aaron, and a couple of others. Eric Andre, Olivia Colman, Fred Armisen, Beck Bennett, Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, and Charlene Yee as the Posies, and Doug the Pug as Monchi.
So I'm confused. Doug, did you go on set and steal the pug?
No, this is my own pug. This is Dexter. We don't know if he's a pig or a dog or a loaf of bread.
I want to see his eyes to see if they're cross-eyed.
Well, that will help you in the apocalypse because apparently it
Yes.
confuses AI.
Intern,
has a
is that
dog.
the
My
pig
brother has-
or a bread?
I think it's bread. That's my answer.
My
Intern?
brother has a dog named Dexter, but it's not a pug. But they do have a pug.
Nice.
And what's the pug's name?
I forgot.
Now, did these pugs get canceled in the 8th season after a very bad finale?
I was thinking maybe Dexter needs some plastic on the floor in his room.
I want to know
protect
what
it.
he did with all that wood he's cut down. Is he getting a good pension from that place, or is he like done with the wood cutting?
He's logging.
Lumberjack Dexter.
But he's
Like,
giving it up. He's coming back.
Now,
Oh,
if
yeah, I'm excited
Dexter
for that.
gets lost up in Canada, does he wander back over the border? Because then he's more than 2 states away from Doug.
I would never let my dog leave me. So he's stuck right here with me.
Hey, hang on. Now, we're totally screwing this up.
this
This
has nothing to do with animation.
If
Does he have a
Dexter
sis-
chops down a
Is this
tree in
your
Canada,
dog or
does
your
anyone hear
wife's
it?
dog?
Oh no, this is my dog.
Does he have a tuxedo and a little hat?
Is he a gentleman?
No, not yet. Not yet. Actually, we got Dexter after the first Kingsman movie came out,
Nice.
and I fell in love with JB and said I wanted a pug.
Oh,
So,
nice. So
That's
kind
right.
of a gentleman. A
Kind
Kingsman
of.
gentleman.
Okay, we got to get back on topic. I apologize for Actually, no, we don't.
So-
'cause
No,
everything-
I threw us off bringing up
Well,
the
that's
season
for
of
you.
Dexter.
It's my fault for bringing the pug into the
No, I love-
camera.
We love animals. We love animals here.
What was the connection with this movie in Spider-Verse?
Uh,
the
same
same studio?
producers. Same studio.
Lord
Yeah.
Miller.
Lord Miller.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sony Animation.
So I gotta say, I love this animation. It was a breath of fresh air for me to watch this because the stuff we've seen lately. I mean, even Pixar has a similar look all the time to a point.
Mhm.
This blew me away. I quite like this. I like the movement. I like the guy that looked at like Doug on the show because I really think he is the dad on
Pug? Oh.
Mitchell versus the Machines. They could just play it to Doug, and I would have believed it. I think they met Doug on the street and made him this character. Because Tina could play his wife. Like, I totally think this is Doug's family, but they just had to add a girl instead of a boy because they're all there.
Wait,
Doug's family is represented.
This movie hit very close to home. I'm not as crafty or handy as the father. And I would say my wife is more like the son, being into the dinosaurs and stuff. But this movie hit very close to home for us.
See, I knew it. So I just want to start this off, and I'll come back later, I promise, that this touched my heart is why this was my pick for Animation Nation. I friggin' love this. I think this has got Oscar written all over it. I think it's going to win this year already. This is my number one front runner for now. I haven't seen anything else. Obviously, I've seen a few films, but
You
nothing.
did
I
see
love the
Raya.
voice. I did see Raya, but I think this is better than Raya. I loved Raya, but I like this more. Raya is just a typical Disney animated film. Kevin's going, I'm going to be in trouble in a second, people.
No,
Don't
it's
worry.
just it's well animated stuff. So anyway, go ahead.
So, all right, we're experienced. So, now you screwed me up. I love the voice acting. I thought Abby Jenkinson was a fresh air. Whoever does the dad, I loved. I even
Danny
loved the
McBride.
phone. Great job. I like the phone too. I thought the phone was a great touch as the villain. Oh yeah, people, we ruined everything on the show. Sorry.
Olivia
I love
Colman
the
as the
villain.
phone.
I loved everything. It all worked for me. I just wish it was rated R, and I would love it even more. I thought it was a little bit of a turn with the mom near the end, probably needed some work. I thought that was a little bit of a turn when her kid gets kidnapped and she goes a little berserk.
I love that.
But I still enjoyed it. So I'm going to let you guys speak and I'm going to come back. Go ahead.
It's like South Park. Like, let me finish. Can you let me finish?
All right, guy.
All right, guy. Hey, guy. Did you want to go, Doug?
Sure. I watched this with my entire family, and we all absolutely loved it. We were laughing
Hold
all
on.
the way through.
Was
Yeah.
Dexter there?
Of course, Dexter is always there, and the fact that
What was
it was
his reaction to seeing the pug? Oops, sorry.
he honestly doesn't care about animals on screen, but if somebody's
Oh, okay.
walking past our front door, that's when he goes nuts. But yeah, we all
Oh,
absolutely
something Daniel can relate to.
Oh, for sure.
yeah we loved this movie. It hit, like I said, it hit very close to home. I have a 17-year-old son who's applying to film schools. It and the humor in it was just, it made us laugh all the way through. We loved the two robots who gain human emotions. The whole, is it a dog? Is it a pig? Is it a loaf of bread? And my younger son, Dylan, absolutely loved the Furby scene. That's what blew
Oh,
his
yeah.
mind, was the Furbies. This is a movie I would absolutely highly recommend to any family looking for a good family film. It hits all the right emotional buttons. It's really funny. The acting is incredible. I loved it. My whole family loved it.
Okay, nice. Yeah, what is it that they call the mom at the end, the violet one? Like, oh no, she's some shade of purple. Like, I just thought that was great. I love the action. Yeah, I have to agree with like everything you guys are saying. I think I like this more than Raya, whatever it is. I like that movie a lot though, but I think with this, I like the character design. I love Phil Lord and Christopher Miller's sense of humor as the producers. I just love what Sony Animation is doing. Like the character designs I feel more similar to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs than Spider-Verse, even though like the style is similar with like the little background like hearts and such. So I like that, and I just think this is so original, and I don't think Disney would do something like this just because they have such a proven formula that I feel like Sony is able to go off the beaten path a bit more and just bring something that's like really fun like this, like have all that IP with the Furbies, the giant Furby, like the dark harvest has begun. And just a lot of great lines here, a lot of great heart too, and I kind of like the little bit at the end where it's just where they make Katie LGBTQ, just with the like, oh, like is the girl,
What?
are you guys official yet, or is she coming home for Thanksgiving? Like there's a little bit in the
Oh, that's right.
credits. Yeah. So, and I just like how that's just kind of like part of her character, and like it's not really like be like, oh, made a big deal about it. So I thought that was pretty cool for this film. I loved it in general.
Well, I'm in agreement with you guys. I did enjoy this. I thought it was very well done. The style was great. I watched it with my family and I really liked it. No one else was here. because they have no family. But I'm bump and
And no
but
friends.
no friends either.
Got the little cat.
Yeah, I don't even like the cat. So the cat didn't like it because she wouldn't watch it. No, overall, I thought it was very well written. I thought it was very contemporary and yet not. I think in geek films, we've got a new norm where we've rewritten what would have been the teenage geeky guy is now the teenage geeky girl in every film. So we had to keep that trope going. But it doesn't bother. I mean, it's not a bad trope. It's not. It's fine. But it's basically all the geeky fathers have turned their daughters into geeks, and the boys are just losers, like the son who likes dinosaurs. So I'm not surprised that she was LGBTQ at the end there. Just one of those things. No, I liked it. I got no complaints. I'm glad it was on Netflix. I don't know if I would have paid for it otherwise, but having seen it, I enjoyed it, and I can highly recommend it. And I don't think it beats Raya for me because Raya is, a work of craftsmanship that goes with the Disney Studios. Soul is more of a contemporary, more of an equivalent. Soul seems very quaint compared to Mitchell's versus the Machines in its storytelling. So overall, I would say, yeah, great, definitely worth watching. So
I'll just say I would see this on a cheap Tuesday and be like blown out of the water, and just be pleasantly surprised by it.
Bob,
I'm glad I saw it. It took me 3 days to watch it, but I'm really glad I watched it. At first, I wasn't too sure, but once I got through the whole thing, it was like Simon said, it was like it touched his heart. So I'm gonna have to agree with that. The comedy was there. I'm glad they were like they showed the Hal as the villain, and I'm going, okay, technology at its worst. But by the end of it, I thought, okay, this is really good. Like comparing Raya and this is sort of like they're on different levels, sort of. So I did enjoy both of them, but I think one is sort of on the higher than the other, in my.
Yeah, we're just comparing for the sake of
Which
the Oscars
one's higher? Do you have Raya higher than
I don't know that I can
Mitchell?
compare that because like the animation looked real, but the animation in this one was really good. Like it was. She was trying to be what was it? She was trying to be a film thing in school, so
film student.
it was sort of different. The animation was different, but still good.
Good cop, dog cop.
Right.
now
The dog cop at the end, he has to say, "Well, you got to let the sergeant know." The sergeant at the end has to let the cop go or something. I got that.
Existential question: Would those films be animated films or just short films? Because like, do they know they're animated, or like, do they think they're live action?
I think they're live action.
Yeah, so they would see those as short films and not animated short films.
Correct.
So
Right.
I thought that was kind of funny.
But those jokes, I thought, were just kept coming. That's why I want to go back on this. Okay, what I wanted to say is I like the dog joke. And then from the dog joke, we have the mom joke. And then they go back to the dog joke. And then they have another joke. And it just keeps going and building and building. And I think it's just wonderful. I mean, that dog joke made me laugh. And even the end of the movie, when the way they defeat the villain was a joke that everybody, I think, would find funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought that was a joke. I mean, how many times that happened to somebody, that something happens to their item to take it out? And I thought that was good. Bob, as you were saying?
Oh, okay. I just the guy who invented PAL, I don't know how it happened that they were next to each other, but he says, all you have to do is to get the panel off is to take, and who carries a number 3 screwdriver with them or whatever it was called. And he says, you mean this kind of screwdriver? Yep, that's the one. He takes the panel off and he goes, who carries one of those?
You know what's funny?
But that was funny.
That was I think everybody probably has their own thing they always carry. Like when I go on holidays, I always have 2 iPhone chargers. My wife may have 0, but I always have 2.
Oh,
I usually have all the cords for everybody because I'm so anal about something not being charged. And if I needed a screwdriver that often, I would be that guy that would have the screwdriver with them.
but she doesn't have a charger because you have 2.
No, she probably did bring her own, but I have extras.
Okay.
Like I got on the plane, I have 2 sets of headphones. I have my iPod. I have a DVD. I have about 6 or 7 DVDs ready to go to keep myself occupied. I have 2 sets of headphones. Like I am ultra prepared with technology.
If you had to carry a screwdriver around with you, though, why would you carry around that specific screwdriver? Why wouldn't you carry around a multi-head screwdriver?
Behold,
which
cinema.
are much more convenient. You just pull the magnetic head out and you put the.
Because these are the strongest screwdrivers.
Exactly, the best on the market.
Yes.
The best, yeah. But he's screwed if you need the star-shaped one.
Is that a pun? You screwed.
Maybe in this universe they only need 1 screwdriver.
Maybe.
So it.
But I'm glad they telegraphed that joke like 10 times, so they
they did
pay off at the end. So yeah,
and
that's well written.
Just sorry, one more thing. That is pretty interesting though. Just the fact that he's like a Luddite and he hates technology and is just in this modern world. And I thought that was kind of cool that he has to be the one that like really puts the big pug.
Dude,
video.
They exist.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
In this day and age, there's still people that don't have cell phones.
Yeah, that's fair. I know a couple.
My buddy at work has just got one. I didn't think he would ever get one.
Yeah.
He finally got one. He's my union rep, and he didn't have a cell phone.
Oh.
I have days where technology is not my friend.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was cool that he has to be the one to save the day because it's just good writing, you know?
Well, somebody needs to save the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going back in time.
To Justice
Sort of.
Society World War II. Is that the title, Kevin?
Justice Society World War II, yes.
Okay.
Justice Society of America World War II.
Okay. Written by Jeremy Adams and Megan Fitzmartin, directed by Jeff Wamster, starring Stana Katic, Matt Bomer, Jeffrey Arend, Darren Criss, William McIntyre, and Chris Diamantopoulos. Yeah, his long name.
The thing is, we don't really go back in time. We go sideways to an alternate universe that's still in the throes of World War II.
Fair. I'll accept that.
Yeah, which I think is kind of false advertising. I'm a fan of the Justice Society. I think it's a great concept, and I think they have some great, interesting characters. And I think most of them are not in this movie. This is a Flash movie. It's kind of like Flashpoint in the sense that Flash is helping Superman, and at some point he speeds up so quickly that he is absorbed into traveling to another universe. And essentially it's the Flash of Two Worlds storyline from the classic Silver Age comics, except that he's nudged by Dr. Fate in the Justice Society universe to bring him over. So Barry Allen encounters Jay Garrick, the Golden Age Flash, and Wonder Woman, and the Hawkman, and Black Canary, and Hourman as well. And it's kind of interesting. It's the same Superman we saw in that Man of Steel movie that came out last fall, and the same animation design as well. Kind of simplistic, like Venture Brothers style. I find very limited, but still like decent looking. But I don't know. I mean, I found myself. I don't know if I enjoyed this story as much as I might have. It seemed to me like this was another multiverse story. So, and we meet the Superman of this world. He's been in hiding with the JSA. And then he gets a chance to come out and shine towards the end. Overall, the animation was okay. The story was serviceable. There were some strange decisions made. One character from the original team dies. And I guess it's because his character is known to reincarnate, so they could kill him and get away with doing that. And I know that pissed off some of his fans in different animated groups. But overall, and I don't know if this is something that you guys could have seen, but when I bought the movie on iTunes, and it came with something which I found was far superior, which is a Commandy short,
Yes.
which is basically full on Kirby, and it's Commandy and Prince Tufton and the rats are run through a series of challenges by the apes to take on the role of the mythical supreme hero role, and it turns out it's well, I don't want to ruin the end, but it's full on Kirby designs, story, naming, all that stuff. It's fantastic, and in 15 minutes, it's far 10 minutes or whatever it is, it's infinitely better than the whole Justice Society movie. So, all right, who's next?
I can
Bob?
Bob.
Doug go.
The story was okay. I was not a fan of the animation style. I watched it again with my wife this time, actually. I don't think any of the kids were with us. She described Wonder Woman's hairstyle as distractingly bad in this, with the bouffant hair. It was really bad. I almost laughed at how it tried to avoid violence so much that there's no smoke, there's no dead bodies, no blood spray or anything when Steve Trevor guns into the Atlantean tank and there's at least 2 dead bodies. They don't show any of that. But then at the very end, the Flash catches a kryptonite bullet and throws it into Brainiac's head. You see blood splatter everywhere. You see the bullet go. I didn't understand why they chose to go that way with the storytelling. That blew my mind, and not in a good way. I thought it was a pretty bad decision. I was getting ready for Chekhov's Superman to show up at the end. You have him there in the first act. You know he's going to show up in the final act. So when the armada of planes were coming, I knew that's when it would happen. It wasn't a big shock to me. All in all, I was not a very big fan of this movie.
There was another extra on the iTunes which had the team of people involved in making it. There's like 3 directors and 4 writers, and they all sat down and everything to contribute their bits to the story. So it seemed like another DC committee driven project as opposed to someone's vision of let's make this happen.
Okay.
And it wasn't adapted from an existing story as well.
Oh, okay. I guess that's me now. Now that Doug said about Wonder Woman's hair, I'm thinking back, and it's now a distraction right now. I don't know if I agree with Kevin on the movie like altogether, but I did enjoy it. But it's certain things now that I think back into it, like sort of gotten me thinking about not enjoying as much as I thought I did. I did like the different characters in the from the Justice Society and the Flash of Earth One. They thought it was Earth One there. But thinking back on it, now I don't know that I've liked it as much as I thought I did. Those different things pop out. That's it.
So I'm probably on the same board as Doug and Bob, intern. I tried to get into this. I didn't find this interesting. I don't know, maybe Kevin's right. Maybe it's the writing by committee. I felt it had no flow. I kept finding I was getting taken out. Like it seemed to be going one way and then jarred over here and then go back over. I'm like, I don't get this. I don't like the way the Flash talks at all. I just, nothing appealed to me. The animation I thought was subpar. The voice acting did nothing for me. I mean, I like Bomer, but it just didn't do anything for me. I had a lot of problems following it because I was just bored. I literally felt this was doing nothing of interest for me. I thought the storyline was very dull. I thought it lacked direction at times. I was getting a little sick of Steve Trevor asking Wonder Woman to marry him all the time. I thought that was a little dumb. And just stuff like that. I mean, I'm getting to the point with these DC movies, I don't want to watch them anymore. I just feel they're getting boring. I think I don't know if they've run out of ideas or they don't have a good writing team, or that must be it. I don't like the animation. I don't think the writing team's very good. And I think they're lacking direction. And I had Kevin showing me a picture of his drink for some reason, which I have no clue why. So he'll tell me in a second. I'm talking. What are you distracting me with? And I'm not editing this out. So overall, I'm done with DC. Oh, okay. Now I see it. Now I'm really distracted. So I'm not watching these anymore, but I know will because you guys are going to put them on the list. I'm not giving this a recommend in any way. This is more of a disappointment to me than anything else. Weak. So moving along, Doug,
Yes.
even though it's COVID, I decided to get on a train.
Okay.
But I went to the train station and it was closed.
Oh no.
Because all these homeless people had decided to sleep in it. So I just went back home. And then I read the paper the next morning, things went a little nuts.
Right. In Seoul Station, written and directed by Sang Ho Yoon, starring Ryu Sang Ryong, Shim Eun Kyung, and Lee Jun.
Did you practice those?
I did not.
Yeah, I could tell.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I could start off if you want,
Sure.
since this was my pick. I wanted to complete the Train to Busan trilogy. This is by
Is
the
this
same.
the last one?
Technically the first. This one came out before the others. This was the writer-director's first in the trilogy. He's got his start in animation, so it makes sense to go from here to the live-action Train to Busan. Honestly, this is not my favorite of the trilogy. It doesn't have the intensity of Train to Busan or the harrowing experience with the characters. I didn't get that with this one. But there were definitely scenes that were pretty intense. The scene in the police station, in the jail cell, that got pretty intense to me. This one I feel was more centered on the characters and less on the zombies. There was the, I guess, spoiler, pimp trying to find his prostitute that had left him and how that all culminates in the end. But yeah, this was not my favorite of all the Busan films, but I definitely liked it. And I think if you've watched the other two, you should definitely see this one.
That's probably why. Because I hadn't watched the other two. That's probably why I didn't really enjoy all of this. I kept on getting distracted, and it's just like I looked at it. I'm going, I know this animation style, and I couldn't think of it, and it just didn't hit with me. Like it didn't fit well or something. I don't know, but I wasn't a fan of the movie.
Okay, I will continue on from there. I hated the animation. That was my biggest issue with this. I mean, it just seemed basic. The storyline, I didn't like the character. I hated that lead woman so much. She really, really, really annoyed me. Her voice acting bugged me. Her storyline bugged me. I actually enjoyed the boyfriend more than her. I thought he was more interesting. And I got to say, I did not see that twist coming. I will give that full credit. I did not see the twist. But the zombies, to me, just sort of showed up and went away at the same time. I mean, they have to be the focus of the movie, I think, for the most part. Obviously, it's the woman trying to get away from the zombies, but I never really felt she was any good at it. I felt it was more of a series of errors, her escaping from the zombies.
Yeah.
Like when that guy helps her and he gets killed, I'm like, come on, there's no way he would have helped her. That she should have been dead on that thing she was going over. And things like that. I did enjoy the apartment scene at the end when they had that fake apartments.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really well done. I thought that was a good part of the film. I did enjoy that. I thought that was something different. But I'm trying to remember the ending now. I've forgotten it on the top of my head. Doesn't matter. I just felt that she wouldn't have survived. I really don't
I
think
could see
she
that.
would have made it this far through the film. And I have to agree with you. I missed that intensity. If it's the same director
Mhm.
as we got from his other films, which I enjoy. The first Train to Busan is a masterpiece in zombie filmmaking.
Well, yeah, I think the problem with this one compared to Train to Busan, I think it's too open. They had the whole city, so it was too open. With Train to Busan, they had basically the one location, the train, and the propelling motion of the train keeping the story going. This movie, I do feel kind of could get lackadaisical at times. Uh, the one thing that stood out to me that is such a difference from America, at least, is that behind the giant billboards in the subway, they actually have blankets for homeless people to come and take and use. That blew me away. That's such a.
Hold on, is that real?
I would assume so. I would assume that's real. It
Because
would seem weird to put something like that in that isn't.
so if one of our people that listens to us in South Korea could email us at extrafeatures@gmail.com, or anybody that wants to tell me I stink or I suck, feel free to email me. They all get forwarded to Doug anyway, so I won't read them. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I didn't know there were blankets back there.
Yeah, I thought that was such a great humanitarian thing to do. I wish all major cities would do that.
I agree. I don't know. I tried to get into this. It was like the Justice League, Justice Society. I just never got into it.
That's fair.
I kind of thought it was a little long, and again, I just directionless at times. I would even say.
Mhm.
I just felt I don't find this interesting. I just want it to end. I felt like the same thing with Justice Society America. I was done. I didn't hate it, but I was bored too early.
That is fair. Train to Busan is the best of the three, without a doubt, in my opinion.
So, since we have no Daniel Prin, who's supposed to do these segues for me, we'll have to rely on the intern to look up the family that lives in the forest, cast list, just before I introduce it. So, there's this family, Doug, when I was on my last camping trip. And the dad, man, really, I know it's COVID, but maybe he should like got a beard trimmer or something, maybe cleaned himself up a bit. And then I ran into this crazy Texan kind of guy that was at the bar, and he was really confusing. And I just sort of left the bar, because it was one of those few weeks in Ontario in the last few years that we were out of COVID and we were allowed to get a drink at the bar, even though like 5 of us were only allowed in the bar, and just lucky me, I was there first. So, and they told me, and then I met this kid wandering out. I was looking for his dad, told me his dad was Bigfoot. I'm like, this kid's had some way too much moonshine. And I went back to my room, and that's the last I ever saw of him. Intern?
And now I understand where you were going with this. I'm going, where's he going with this? Okay, Bigfoot Family starring.
I was waiting for you. I was stalling.
Thank you, but you never even said Bigfoot, anything to me. You said you met this family out in the woods. I'm going, where's he going with this? Okay, so I don't
Did you
know.
watch
Six
the
other
film?
movies,
Yes,
and
but I
this
didn't.
is the
You
one
didn't
about people in the
say
woods.
he had big feet or anything. Okay, starring Jules Medcraft, Killian Trouard, Alexis Victor, Marie Chavalat, whatever. Frederick, I don't know. Have I got the right film?
I have no idea. I don't have a phone with me, so
I don't have it either. Where's Bigfoot? Where's this? Oh, there he is.
doesn't matter.
Alexis Victor's Bigfoot voice. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Intern, it's your pick. You go first.
Okay. Well, I thought it was okay. Like the story of the Bigfoot family. Like, I don't know. There's not much I can say about it. Like he knows how to talk to animals. His son has the same power, and he can run really fast. I'm going, this was okay. It's not the greatest, but I saw it. So That's all for me.
Anybody want to? Kevin?
You're one up on me.
You
Oh,
didn't see
Kevin
it.
did not
This,
see it.
you know, I have, my life is important to me. And this looks like they took the what was that guy from Rebels who ended up being the traitor, and they put hair on him and they turned him into Bigfoot.
I never saw Rebels, so I cannot help you.
Yeah, there's an Imperial officer in Rebels who ends up joining the rebellion, but he looks exactly like Bigfoot, except not hairy. So that's the only.
Doug, did you see this one?
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, this movie was pretty bad. It made a lot of nonsensical kind of decisions. I don't get why Adam had these powers that his father didn't have. I get the big feet, he can run fast, but he can heal, but his father can't, because later at the end of the film, they find his dad with a broken ankle and he can't heal himself, but Adam can. Why doesn't the father have the healing powers? It made no sense to me. This movie, it wanted to be funny with the talking animals. It wanted to tell an important environmental story. It wanted to be an anti-consumerism story, but it was none of those things, or it didn't do any of those things well at all. After I watched this, I found out it was a sequel to a film called Son of Bigfoot, which I have never heard of. I'm glad I never heard of it. I wish I had never heard of this one.
You know what? I think we reviewed Son of Bigfoot.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason I remember seeing it, and it was awful.
I have no idea. Well, I will talk about this one anyway. I did see it. I just felt this was a bad ABC special. Like, I thought all these characters were cookie cutters. That stupid bear was boring. That raccoon voice was driving me nuts. The kid didn't do anything, just ran around a bit. I'm like, I thought it was just going to, starts off, I thought it was a superhero show and Bigfoot was going to be like a superhero. But no, he becomes an environmentalist. And then it just sort of goes into this boring story of him looking for his dad. I'm just like, and then that Texan guy shows up and he's just like, we're going to get a whale. Did you deal with Bigfoot? Yeah, he's down there. I'm like, what the hell is this garbage? I mean, if I'm older than 7, do I like this? I would say no. I mean, I'm probably playing my iPod 5 minutes through this. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, Dad, why is this on my TV? Like, you think this is going to entertain me? Like, go put on those feeling movies. We like those. I just think this is poorly done. Doug is right. They have all these ideas about environmentalism and this and that, and none of it seems to play out. I mean, Bigfoot can disarm a bomb, and then they just go back to the house and everything's pretty much the same, and they take over the research center. I mean, this seems like the most basic plot they could think of. And really, they just seem to be adding things in to keep the family busy to make it a full-length feature. I don't feel anything they did deserved any credit on this. At all. Like, did you have that feeling when you came out, Doug? Like, what was the point of this?
Kind of. I think it was just... I think it might have been a French film that is dubbed in English. I'm not I didn't bother to look into the origins of the film, to be perfectly honest, but it definitely didn't feel like an American production.
No, definitely not. Now, intern, did you know this was a sequel to a movie that I've never heard of? So, in picking this movie, you just picked it because you saw it then, is what I'm understanding?
It was animated and it fit the criteria.
I guess that's it.
What?
So
it's animated. What do you want me to say? I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know where Daniel is. He's supposed to be hosting. So I think
he fell in.
I think he fell into the bathroom. So I had Doug, after going to Seoul Station, I went home. I still had to go back downtown, so I decided to leave a little bit earlier in the day. And it was really weird. There's this woman that was flying around on a broomstick over the town. It's really weird. And then I went to my favorite bakery, and now they have a delivery service so that I can have it delivered to my house. Because of COVID, I didn't have to leave my house. So next time, I'm going to use Kiki's delivery service.
Nice. So I guess we're doing a Kiki's delivery service, written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki. And if you watch the Disney dubbed, which is what I did, stars Kirsten Dunst as Kiki and other people I can't find off the top of my head right now. So we'll just go with Kirsten Dunst since she's the lead.
Fair enough. This is rated G. I had no idea of that. That's one thing I want to stress. It was shocking how basic this film was and how beautiful it was at the same time. I think for me, the running time is way too long for a G film. I really don't think this film holds my attention for the full 2 hours. I mean, yeah, it's Miyazaki. It's probably the whole reason I made it through the 2 hours because it's just beautiful to look at. The way, I think it's the scene with all the bubbles coming out of the window. I think that's the scene. Something's coming out of the window. And just amazing. I didn't like Kiki. I think that was my biggest problem with this. I thought her cat had more personality than she did.
Okay.
I mean, I love the cat. I thought the cat needed his own movie. I thought the characters were interesting. I love the woman that runs the bakery. I thought she was good. I like the cat. I like the other woman in the woods. I like the whole date with the kid. I like the old lady that was trying to send her, I think it's her granddaughter or something. I thought they were all great. Kiki's my issue. I don't find her interesting. I mean, I think she's supposed to be what? I'm guessing under 16.
Yeah.
This way I'm getting it. And I think that's my problem. I think maybe because I live with kids around this age and they drive me nuts. Maybe that's why Kiki was driving me nuts. So, yeah, overall, I think it's a beautiful looking film. But I don't get the love for it. She's 13? Great. So now I know why I relate to this. I have a 13-year-old. So, Doug, tell me why I'm wrong or agree with me.
Well, no, I think the love for the film is because it's Miyazaki. This is definitely not my favorite Miyazaki film. I'm not even sure it ranks in the top 5 for me. I think that goes Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke. I love Porco Rosso. I think that one's just a bizarre film, and I love it. This one, it's not my favorite, but it definitely has a lot of Miyazaki, I guess I'll call him kinks. He loves air travel. So the fact that there's, flying on the broomstick and then the flying machines, all that stuff is pure Miyazaki. Just the visual storytelling, Gigi the cat. It's a wonderful little story, but it's definitely not my favorite. So I kind of agree with you, Simon.
Yeah, I feel better. Just one thing I want to touch on, you said. That little kid's flying machine and the scene where it dive bombs into the park, oh my God, that blew me away.
Yeah.
That was just so much going on in that scene. Literally, I would love to just watch that scene on YouTube. I probably should, because there's just too much going on. I couldn't take it all in, because it's just boom, and the thing's going here, the other thing's going here. There's people. Can you imagine being in a park and this thing just sort of falls on you? Like, what the hell? And he got that. He understood exactly how I would feel in that scene.
Oh, there's flying stuff in all of Miyazaki's films, and it's definitely there. And that's one of the things I love about it. You could tell he truly loves aviation and all forms of it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this. I do remember it being really good, and I do agree that it's not my favorite Studio Ghibli film, but it's cute, it's fun. I know kids love it. I know when I was selling I had some Miyazaki related books at the store. This was the one that always sold the best as far as stuff went. This and Spirited Away.
How about Totoro?
Yeah, so
I would
young,
expect Totoro.
me too, but kids love, young girls in particular really love this movie.
Okay.
And I think it's that sense of the exact reason that Simon didn't like it was that they relate to Kiki, and she's just trying to figure things out. She's got to isolate herself to learn how to fly and be a witch, and she's making a go of it by having the courier service and all that stuff. But she kind of flits back and forth. She doesn't know what she wants. She waffles a bit. She gets insecure about her future. Is she going to get her powers or not? All those things. And then the cat sort of is around as could be a sibling or a younger brother if this was an actor in a film. So overall, it's fun. It's nice. I'm not a big fan of the dubbing because it's standard North American. Kirsten Dunst, Phil Hartman, Janine Garofalo. You recognize the voices a bit, but I think Debbie Reynolds was the madam in it. But anyway, not something that I really, if I were going to do a Miyazaki retrospective, this would be low on my list to revisit. I think Princess Mononoke would probably be the one I want to see the most again. I enjoyed that the most. Howl's Moving Castle is really cool too.
I haven't seen that one.
Am I the only one who hasn't spoken about this one?
Bob
No, Bob
has not
hasn't.
spoken.
Okay.
I was only able to see, I'm not going to be long, Daniel. I was only able to see 10 minutes of it before life got in the way, but from what I saw, the animation style I liked, and after that, I just wasn't into it, and I stopped watching.
Okay, you weren't long at all.
Told you I wasn't going to be.
This is my first Miyazaki, believe it or not. I liked it. I like the animation style. I'm looking forward to watching more of these because I like the heart of it. I like the storytelling. I like Kiki as a character. I thought she was interesting. I like the idea of the delivery service. And yeah, I like that it's my first Miyazaki, and then I get to watch more of his. So I think that's kind of
Wait,
exciting.
This is your first Miyazaki?
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't pick up on that.
I just heard you right now. Didn't let that go. You have a lot of fun coming up.
Yeah, I know, but I kind of like it because I try to look at it more as not that wow you haven't seen it yet, but I get to see them for the first time because I'm kind of jealous of you, Simon. You're going to be able to watch Hold for the first time sometime soon.
Very, very soon we're going to be revisiting Holes because I've started it twice and for some reason I've never finished it.
Yeah.
Well, would you recommend me seeing it? Would you recommend me seeing it the rest of the way, or just no? Don't bother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I'll watch it tonight then.
Now, did you want me to add on to Seoul Station and Bigfoot?
Yeah, well, you watched them. We kind of would like your opinion, unless if you didn't watch them, we just move along.
I'll do 20 seconds of Seoul Station. I thought it was interesting how they looked animated, even though this is definitely more for me in quality to the technically the third one than the great 2018 one with Train to Busan, or 2016. I don't know, but yeah, this is the prequel as we discussed. But it's fine. I don't really like the characters that much, but I kind of liked how the zombies moved.
See, Daniel agreed with me. Look at that. He's not here. He couldn't contradict me.
For sure.
They certainly look rotoscoped. Like they took actors and they filmed some of them doing the movements, and then they just tried to imitate them by drawing over them.
Sure, yeah, with the clacking of the teeth, I'm sure that's. Oh, sorry, the ASMR. And then Bigfoot Family, I'm sure everyone ribbed into you, Bob, on that one for putting that on the list. I'll just say that.
Well, it's a sequel. We didn't watch the original, so now I have to go find some other film I haven't seen.
And as well as kind of paraphrase Casablanca of all the animated movies in all the world, you had to pick
I'll
this
save
one.
you time, Daniel. You think it sucked.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
There you go.
But I mean, at least for movies like Norm of the North, and I'm not blaming you that you didn't make it, but like at least movies for Norm
Yeah,
of
you're
the
blaming
North,
me. I hear you.
Arctic Dogs, and what's that other one, The Nut Job? At least those have recognizable actors. This one sounds like
So did Paddington Bear 2. It had recognizable voices and actors.
yeah, but that's a good movie. The three I just named are total shit. But I'm just trying to say
Nut
that
Job and Nut Job 2 were
yeah,
the worst animated films I've ever seen.
no, yeah, but,
And
but
Arctic, all those movies are bad, you named.
oh yeah, but my point is, at least those have the courtesy to put in recognizable voice actors. This sounds like a foreign movie dub, and it's just like they're just.
That's
phoning
what
it in.
Kevin said. You're just, I know you weren't here, but Kevin said the same thing.
Okay.
It's a French production.
And Belgian. So
Yeah. Well,
screw you guys.
Where's
I guess
Tintin? Isn't Tintin
Belgian-
should be in it then?
Yeah,
it's
it's
France,
just.
basically.
I mean, I don't. And I like the environment, but it's not fun for an animated movie. And we saw this done worse. Or I mean, saw it done slightly better in Arctic Dogs. But just stop. It's just boring. And it's like, okay, let's get Bigfoot, but he's for the environment. It's just a bad movie.
Okay, Daniel may kill me for this one, but I'm going to try. Daniel, I went to the pond. I came back with a ducktail.
DuckTales, woo! We could have just sang for the transition.
I was
on that
thinking
one.
of doing that, but I figured you might kill me. I can't sing.
DuckTales, woo! I can't sing either, apparently. DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. Written by, oh yeah, you could have said they came back with a Lost Lamp, but you know what, I see what you were going for. Written
Well,
by
thank you.
Alan Burnett and directed by Bob Hathcock, starring Alan Young, Terrence McGovern, Rusty Taylor, Christopher Lloyd, Richard Libertini, June Foray, Jack McCann, and Rip Taylor.
Alan Burnett wrote this?
Yes,
yeah,
he
Yeah.
directed
the
it.
Batman and the
I
DC
saw
Universe
that.
stuff.
That shocked me when we started. Daniel, it's your film. You go first,
Yes,
buddy.
sir. You know, I don't know. I picked it because I didn't really see much of DuckTales like lately, but I was like, oh, I remember this show. I know that they had, I think they revamped it on Disney Plus. So I was like, you know what? I have never seen the feature film. I kind of want to watch the feature version. I thought it was kind of, I mean, it's very late Raiders of the Lost Ark, how they kind of start with the third act in the first 15 minutes. And I thought that was kind of like, I was like, wait, did Simon start watching it? And I'm 50 minutes in already because he didn't restart it. So that's kind of what the
Oh,
sense
we're
that
doing
I
a
got.
Hamilton joke, are we?
What? No, I just like that we have the same Disney Plus account, and then I thought like, oh, maybe you started.
I accidentally watched the film. By accident, I watched
Oh,
Hamilton
right.
in your account. I'm sorry. Everybody out there, I've used Daniel's lovely Disney account.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
No, that was 8 months ago. I forgot about it. To be
Oh, I
honest.
haven't because you just brought it up.
That was mostly just for the like pacing on DuckTales. But no, I mean, I thought I had fun with it. I wouldn't watch it again because I feel like it's just very like 11 to 12-year-old, where it's just some of it's funny. Like I love the genie, but it's just very run of the mill. But it's 75 minutes, so if you
Actually, I thought the genie was somebody else until I saw the credits. So I'm going, oh, that sounds
yeah?
like somebody else.
Okay,
Who
yeah.
would you
I mean, it
think
sounded like
was?
Daffy Duck. Sounded like the guy who does Daffy Duck.
Yeah,
to me.
Mel Blanc. I thought it was Mel Blanc at first, and then I thought, nope.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, no, but like I liked it. I like the animation. Yeah, nothing I really watch again, but it's a very easy watch. So I liked it for that, and that's kind of why I picked it because I was like, you know what, I'll give everybody a shorter one. It kind of looks like fun, like light entertainment, and I think it fits the bill for that to do a bit of a duck pun. I'm not apologizing for that one.
I want to actually agree with pretty much everything Daniel said. I love the genie. I thought the genie stole the movie. I got a little bit repetition with Christopher Lloyd as the villain. I found he was just doing the same stick over and over again, and I think that works for what the target audience for this film was. I know I'm not the target audience for it. I love Scrooge McDuck. I noticed he was a different voice than I remember as a kid, or maybe it's been that long since I've seen it, but I doubt it. He didn't sound quite gruffy enough for me, but that may be just what I'm remembering.
I can vet it. I'm saying.
Oh, it's not a big issue.
You know what's
Okay.
funny
I
though
think-
is that Alan Young is the voice of Scrooge McDuck for 30 years. He
Oh,
was
really?
Scrooge McDuck.
Oh,
And all
Oh,
those
that-
cartoons and movies and stuff, like until 1990, he retired after this film was the voice of Scrooge McDuck.
oh,
So he's just
I
his
didn't think
voice
the
has
movie was
changed
that
obviously
bad.
over 30 years. No, I didn't hate the movie. I just
I know.
think it's for its target audience. I'm not it. I found it a little repetitious for a guy at my age, but I think if I was an 11-year-old boy or 11-year-old girl, I would love this film. I think it's very fun. I think it's perfect for its target audience. I enjoyed the voice acting. I thought Lloyd did stand out, but Lloyd always stands out to me because he tries to overact everything. But I did enjoy the Minion. The Minion I thought was really good,
Oh, yeah.
and that's about all I'm going to say on this.
Yeah, I do agree. No, I don't agree. I like Christopher Lloyd. But yeah, a little repetitive. So yes, I do agree.
Yeah, no, I must have seen this years ago. Again, I didn't revisit it for the show, but I remember it was one of those oddities that came out during that golden age of Disney animation when you had like Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and all those other films were coming around at the same time. So this was kind of an oddity. It was like Rescuers Down Under, which was not a great film, but really stands out because it has that computer animated sequence in it with the eagle flying through the mountains. That was really eye-opening at the time of what was the computer animation was capable of.
I like
So-
that movie.
So here you have DuckTales, and DuckTales, the show, was popular at the time. It was kind of after my cartoon watching era. Like it kind of came on in the late 80s when I was not watching cartoons after school in high school. It was okay. I mean, I'm obviously a big fan of Carl Barks and the Scrooge McDuck comics and stories, and the cartoons were great as well. And these kind of spin out of that. It was like, how can we do a cartoon show and eventually a movie based on Scrooge McDuck, Donald Duck, and the nephews going on adventures around the world? And so that they came up with this sort of a spin on, sort of throw in a little Indiana Jones, and then what was that character that Tom Selleck played, where he was kind of like Indiana Jones, but he wasn't. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
I do, but I can't
Where
remember
he was a
his name.
pilot.
In this movie or
Yes.
indie?
Yeah.
I can
Oh,
only think of
okay.
Magnum PI.
that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of.
No,
No.
he's the pilot that bounces the plane off everything.
Yeah, he did this great movie where he was a pilot, because he was going to be cast as Indiana Jones, and then he passed on it, and this was
No,
his-
he didn't. He couldn't get out of his Magnum PI contract.
right. Okay,
Couldn't get out of his mustache.
exactly. Yeah. Anyway, not Quigley Down Under, but it was something like that.
Love Quigley Down Under.
Yeah, that's a fun film. Alan Rickman.
It's a villain.
So this, it's pretty standard. It's an hour and a bit. So it's, if you can suffer through it for 10 minutes, you can suffer through it for an hour and 15 minutes. Christopher Lloyd does stand out because his voice is so recognizable. The rest of it is, you don't really get that voice cast. You get the sense that these are the characters. This is who they are. There's no celebrity guests other than Rip Taylor, and Rip Taylor's the genie's right up there with he's like your bargain basement Robin Williams.
He is.
But overall, if you care about these characters and this is interesting to you, it's watchable. If you don't give a shit, then don't bother. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, the voices can get pretty irritating after a little bit.
Mm.
There's all the quacking. Doug, did you watch it?
Yes, I'll be honest. I did rewatch it. I hadn't seen it since it originally came out, so I went to rewatch it Friday night. I actually ended up falling asleep. I missed about 10, 15 minutes in the middle of it, but I came back. It felt just like a long episode of the TV show to me. It didn't feel like a feature film. It didn't have that oomph that's needed for the big screen, at least in my opinion.
It's I consider this on par with Goofy the movie.
Okay.
Yes.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like, do we really need this? But they needed something to put out.
I will say,
Respect
I'll
the
give
name.
it,
It's a
I'll give
Goofy
it
movie.
credit. I'll give it credit
Sorry.
for having the ending of Aladdin 2 years before Aladdin came out, but that's about it.
That's fair.
Intern, final thing.
I had never seen the show or the movie before this, so like this was the only. I guess this was the only '80s animated TV show I've never watched. I didn't enjoy it when it was on. The movie, I didn't really like. I liked the voice acting in the movie. I sort of liked the story, but I don't think I'd ever watch it again.
Woo.
So it's no Bigfoot family.
No Bigfoot Family.
I won't watch the Bigfoot Family either.
So
Again,
when COVID's over, guys, after I'm allowed out of my country, I think it's time for me to go to South Park.
You know, I was wondering if you were gonna say like blame us because we're Canada, or like go with one of the songs, but I dig it.
I don't know what you mean, Philip.
Hey guy.
What do you-
Hey guy.
let's kill Kenny.
I already forget the what would
Out there. I
What would
want to
something,
be where the
something do?
birds sing. There is
What would
sun
Brian
is
Boitano do?
shining.
thank you. I couldn't think of his name. I
The
was singing it for
singer.
like an hour and a half ago, but like
Yeah.
now it's like so far gone. Anyway,
Kevin, are you my uncle?
Am I your uncle?
Can we swear on this or no?
Go ahead. I don't care.
I'm not an uncle.
Uncle
fucker.
fucker.
You're a
Anyways.
born fighting bastard, Uncle Fucker.
Okay. South
Okay,
Park
friend.
bigger, longer,
songs
and
in this.
uncut. Oh, for sure. South Park bigger, longer, and uncut. Directed by Trey Parker, written by Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and Pam Brady. Starring Trey Parker and Matt
Just-
Stone.
I
Eric
like
Idle,
you know,
George Clooney.
suck on
Yeah.
those chocolate salty balls.
That's a
Mini
different.
driver.
That's from his show,
Oh.
actually.
Is it okay?
I
Talk
forgot
about
the.
balls.
I forgot the. I'm sorry, Mr. Garrison. Suck my balls, Mr. Garrison. I forgot that this was in the movie. I forgot that was the part in the movie. I thought that was. I love that scene so much. Simon, did you want to start with this one?
Can I start? I'll be quick.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I never watched the show, and actually I didn't watch the movie because I hated the show, so I figured I'd hate the movie, so I didn't watch it. There you go. I'm done. Something I
Better
refuse to
record.
watch.
Insightful.
Well, it doesn't have to be insightful if I didn't watch it. Sorry.
No, it is. It's.
Oh,
I generally feel that way about South Park. I never watched the show and I couldn't care less about it, but for some reason I love this goddamn movie. So it's just so
It's Canada.
stupid. It's funny, and that's about all I have to say about it too. That's my insightful review.
I think I've
Yeah,
seen
so
this
Philip.
movie somewhere between 20 and 30 times. I think I saw it 3 times in the theater when it came out. I watch it generally maybe once a year. I love this movie so much. It makes me laugh every single time I watch it. I listen to the soundtrack repeatedly. I love that it's a full-on Disney musical with catchy, wonderful songs and also just absolutely horrible lyrics. I love it so much.
Did you
The-
say musical?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I mean, there's like
Oh,
what,
this-
12 songs.
This
Uh-oh.
movie
You-
is a
you missed out,
full-on
buddy.
musical.
Oh,
Oh,
right, you
full-on
didn't
musical.
watch
You
it.
had your chance, you lost it. Yeah.
You
I
blew
can
it,
still
buddy.
watch it.
You
Too late.
blew
We're
it.
not discussing it. You're out. Next movie. You got 8 new ones to watch.
I can't say enough good things about this film. I love it, and that's it. It's great.
So
The resistance.
me and
The
Doug,
Resistance.
I got to tell you, I saw this film in theaters on a Friday night when our bus service, I didn't drive at that time, or maybe I loaned my car to my mother, probably loaned my car to my mother. So I had to walk to the theater, which took me about an hour. I fell off my seat watching this film in the theater. And I mean, full on the floor, crying.
Yeah.
And then I went to see it again the next day because it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen because I missed so many jokes laughing.
I see.
I
Where
would,
you were still working at Paradise at that time, right?
yes.
Yes, because I remember everybody at that store just all they could talk about was South Park. In that movie.
Well, we loved it.
Yeah.
That's kind of meta though, because it's basically like like the guys going to see Terrence and Phillip over and over again, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Going back the next
So
day.
with Doug, I had the soundtrack. I played this in my car for like a year. It was the only thing that was ever allowed to be played in my car was the South Park soundtrack. I don't know if I still have it.
remember
If I
that,
do,
too.
I'm going to play it. I love it. So
I remember
I just
riding in
wanna
your
tell-
car with that soundtrack playing all the time.
this is my chef doll that I've had since the movie came out,
Really?
and signed by Isaac Hayes.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I thought you
I've
were.
had this forever. And yes, it was this dark when I met him. I met him at the back of a theater when he was performing. And I held it up and said, "Can you please sign my chef doll?" And he goes, "Absolutely, children." And came over and signed. He kept looking at it where to sign. He flipped it over and signed on the back. I really wish he signed on the front, but you can't be picky. But look at this. Here's my Isaac Hayes signed chef doll. And I've had it all these years. He is
thought you were
my
gonna-
favorite character on the show. This movie, I gotta go. This soundtrack is amazing. It just, Uncle Fucker has got to be the fucking best song in this movie. Every time I hear it, I start singing along. And then the movie almost slows down. And then Satan has this big ballad up there. And I always think it's Michael Bolton singing, even though it's not. I mean, and Brian Botano is so catchy. What would Brian Botano do if he were here today? He would kill an axe or two. That's what Brian Botano does. It's the catchiest crap on the planet. All these songs are catchy. And if you had watched the show, the jokes are even better. I mean, the jokes just keep killing me because they keep coming. Especially when Kermit goes, "Kyle, your mom's a big fat bitch." And which is one of the best jokes ever on the show. And they bring it back. And they just do callbacks to the show during the movie. So if you've seen the show, the movie is doubly to be funny. Mr. Hand getting blown up, I was crying. I mean, this movie is just a masterpiece to me in animation. In animation, who cares? The jokes are great. They keep coming. The biggest problem, I have one small problem. It's the last about 15 minutes I find is just rushed to get to the end. And I find it's just kind of choppy. And it just boom, boom, oh, shoot, we got to finish. So let's just get rid of it. I mean, how could you go when you got Big Gay Al coming back, who has to have his big musical number because everything is fabulous? Love South Park. I can't say enough good things about this. It is just so much fun. And even my chef doll, who's lasted, 20 years now at my house, and I still have them.
I thought you were going to make him talk when you turned him around.
I can't. I don't have a talking one. The only talking ones for these were the main 4 characters, and they came out within about 3 months. A friend of mine still has his original 4. I'm the only one I know and have ever seen with a signed chef doll.
Okay.
It's the only one I've ever seen is mine.
I was going to say, if you were going to make it talk, I would have been surprised the voice box still works.
Why
I have a
wouldn't you use
Cartman and a Butters upstairs.
Do you have Butters got one too?
Butters as, I forget the character, like Doctor Doom type bad guy.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The superhero ones.
Yeah, I have.
I want to get a
regular
token.
Cartman
I've
and
never
Butters.
seen a token one. I don't know if they still make. I don't know if they made these when they brought out the other characters.
Now,
Because I would definitely have a Sheila Bobrowski if there was one.
Oh, Kyle's mom.
Now, last question before I let somebody else talk, or if there's anybody else to talk. Did you guys stay through the end credits for the very last scene of the movie?
No.
Probably,
There is
I don't
more
remember.
to this movie at the very end. So you know how he goes, "Kick the baby. Don't kick the baby." You know, at the very end, there's an Ike scene at the very end of the film. That's all I'm going to say.
Should I screen share and play it? I think we get sued, though.
Yeah, probably. So has everybody talked? Or
No,
was
I
away for a
haven't.
bit? Okay.
Yeah, no, I see. I didn't see it in theaters because I was 5 at the time when this came out. But I've watched the show. I know I downloaded like the songs on like LimeWire, like I know
Illegal sharing bastard. You killed Kenny.
I killed Kenny because I downloaded it legally. You wouldn't steal a car. You wouldn't steal a DVD.
I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I didn't steal it. This is just numbers.
I love the songs. I think Kyle's mom is my favorite. I feel bad for anyone named Kyle when this movie came out. because I feel like people would still say it, to be honest. Yeah, everything you guys said, I echo it. I love this movie. I haven't seen it in at least 6 years, probably. So it was fun revisiting it, and I love all the characters. I like the charm of the animation. I love Terrence and Philip, and it's a smart story too. Just commenting about censorship and just trying to going way overboard to start World War III to stop someone from saying fuck. So I I think it's just a solid movie all around. And it got
Doug,
nominated for
have your
best
children seen this?
animated.
It got
Right?
nominated for song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my kids have seen it. Yes, I'm
And what
that
did they
parent.
think?
What do you think? Of course they loved it. They were walking around singing Uncle Fucka. It's what
Yeah, I'm
kids
gonna
do.
let my 13-year-old. I'm gonna tell her to watch South Park one night and see what she thinks.
I wonder if this would have been nominated for an Oscar if the animated category would have been around in '99.
I don't think it was
No,
because
probably
Robin
not.
No,
Williams
it
came out
wasn't.
and saying that.
But
Robin
I'm
Williams
just saying it would have been if the category was there, because I think it was Shrek the first year, and that was 2001.
I wanted this to be no, because Robin Williams came out and sang the song for Blame Canada
Yeah.
on the
What?
Oscars. I remember that. Yeah.
I'm queuing
Yeah.
that up for YouTube after we finish recording.
Okay.
Oh,
So
it's
are
amazing.
we going to our last film? We're done, guys. Our animation nation is done for another year.
Yes, sir.
So, Daniel,
I
we
thought you
kind
had
of
one
have
more. What
a
happened to Mary and Max? You didn't do that.
Oh, we're queuing into it.
queuing. Give me a moment. This is kind of like how we met. I sent you an email. You sent me an email. Kind of like Mary and Max exchanging letters.
Yes, like Twitter pen pals. Yes. I applaud that transition, sir. I like it. Mary and Max, written and directed by Adam Elliott, voiced by Tony Collette, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Barry Humphries as the narrator, and Eric Bana. Or Bana.
Who do it? Intern, you're up.
Why me?
Just for
Okay.
fun.
I didn't think I was. Whose pick was this? Because I didn't think I was going to like it at first because I don't usually like that animation style, but it grew on me for this movie. I like the interaction between the two characters, although they hadn't met for until he died, basically.
Oh, we're
We
spoiling
kept
right away.
exchanging emails one after another.
Spoiler!
What?
Just
No, I just thought it was funny. We spoiled like seconds in.
go ahead.
Somebody
Keep
else
going.
talk. Somebody else
Oh
talk.
no, I'm just screwing with you. Keep going, buddy.
No, I'm finished. I actually I didn't think I didn't. As I said, because of the animation style, I didn't like it, but I thought I wouldn't like it, but I did. Okay, and then I'm finished. I don't know. I lost track. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I liked see this because it's kind of claymation, kind of stop motion animation. There's a weird mix here, and I'm with a movie like with an episode where we talk about South Park and something else. I'm surprised that Satan didn't have the biggest animated nipples. And that kind of goes to Max here, and that was,
Hey, guy.
or whoever the grandpa was, that was weird. I like the structure of the story. I like some of the humor. I like this kind of humor. It's bizarre. It's kind of laugh out loud at times. I'm glad I watched this, but yeah, I don't think I'd watch it again because like I get the appeal of it, but it gets a little bit boring at times, I think, for me. And just again, I don't love this animation style, so it's like I respect it more than I like the look of it. But the photography is nice and just how they capture the world and everything. And like the heart of it with like especially with the M typewriter and him sending it back, I thought that was kind of cool. And it's like nice to like bring people together like this through pen pals, where in 2009 it might have been a bit weird. But I it's a very dark movie. So I'm glad I watched Mitchell's versus the Machines right after it to
There was
lift my
something I missed.
spirits.
There was something I just remembered. They had like I know you probably don't care and it probably doesn't matter, but they had, I guess they were dog houses in say first 15 minutes, and there's Sunny and Cher.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. I'm going, what? I noticed that almost at the end of that sequence and thought that was funny. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and the like to your point, the tombstones with the rhymes were hilarious. Like the he lays Carrie because she loves Sherry or something. So I thought the writing was clever, even though it's just not my style of animation, I guess. But I'm glad I watched it because it's been on my watch list for at least 5 years.
Well, that's why we put it on the list, because you wanted it on the list
That's
to get
true.
it off.
Yes, thank you.
Kevin?
I've not seen it. I did read the synopsis, and
Another synopsis read. And how did it come off for you?
it sounds bizarre with
Doug?
depression, alcoholism, drug addiction,
Yeah.
obesity.
I'll say
lot of stuff.
I respect this movie more than I like it. I like the technique of colors coming into the black and white as their lives expanded more, but then it didn't continue, and this movie was depressing as hell.
Yes.
I did not like it at all, story-wise. I didn't like the characters. I had to go and watch a Marx Brothers movie immediately after to get the taste out of my mouth.
Fair.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I did not like the story
Oh.
or the characters at all.
Wow. Doug, just turn the page, because I'm on the exact opposite. I
Really?
friggin' loved this movie. Absolutely blew me away on all levels. I thought it had one of the deepest animation stories I ever had seen. I loved this animation. I thought the simplicity of it. I loved the sounds on the typewriter. I loved everything about this film. This film would have made my top 10 list the year it came out if I had seen this.
Okay.
Absolutely thought the storyline was wonderful. I love how she picked the name out of the book, how that was set up. The end, like, brought me almost to tears. The end of this film destroyed me. The letters this man was pouring out to this young girl at the time, I was like, this is so inappropriate on like 18 billion levels. And she kept writing him back, and I felt this was so heartwarming at times. How he was trying to work his way through things through these letters and through his life, and nobody seemed to help him. I felt so bad for this man. And then I was so excited. And then when she got to the door, I'm like, I know what happened. And I was so pissed, I figured out the end. Right it just the way they shot it, and they delayed her flight, and she couldn't leave or whatever for a few months. I'm like, okay, I know the end. I was pissed I figured that out, just because the way I think they telegraphed her, maybe just me knowing, and the way that was headed.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
I loved Barry Humphries as a narrator. It was phenomenal to me. Absolutely perfect pitch and pace. I have to give this movie the most strong recommend as I can give it. Of all these movies here, I would say I even like this more than South Park. I can't rewatch this, but I mean, for rewatchability, no, but I freaking love this movie. I will be recommending this movie to people that I've never heard of it nor never seen it. The only reason why I even suggested it for the list, because it was on the top 10 animation movies you'd never see. So I said, okay, well, I'll just put it to the list. If you guys pick it, that's great. So, Doug, I have to totally disagree with you. I friggin' love this movie. And I think that's it. So we're running long. We're not going to do our normal things. Yes, Daniel?
I was just gonna ask if anyone's had a chocolate hot dog before.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing, but you'll learn new food. So if anybody needs to email us on YouTube or anywhere else, you can find us on Twitter. Just run an Extra Features podcast search. You'll find our Gmail. You'll find our site. Kevin will probably get the email and just send it to me and yell at me, because I'll never read it, because I don't read half the emails because I'm busy. So thank you for everyone listening to this and seeing us and watching us. We're the Extra Features podcast team. We do appreciate you checking us out. And if they make it,
We eat chocolate hot dogs
Woo,
and re-review it.
woo, woo.
In the woods.
Woohoo! That
Yeah, I
fits.
have